podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Calvin, and joining me with candy wrappers all around him, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
What's up, bro? I have the worst stomachache in the world.
Well, don't eat all of your kids' candy from Halloween. It's not a good idea.
Fuck them kids. It's
I'm honestly really surprised I made it through that intro without coughing the whole way through it. I have been very sick for the past week. That's why we missed our episode last week. I honestly, literally could not record. And yeah, that was it. We were going to do a Breaking Bad episode to tie in with El Camino. Didn't work out, but it'll be coming in a couple weeks.
That's okay. We'll come back around.
Because we also won't have an episode next week because I'll be on a cruise and can't record there either. Something about like my wife doesn't want me to take time away from our family on our vacation.
Just living his life. Selfish bastard.
Yeah, but that should be our last break for a while. But today, the reason you're surrounded by Halloween candy is because we're talking Halloween movie superlatives.
Fuck yeah.
I like a movie with Halloween. I don't necessarily like a scary movie, but I love a movie that happens during Halloween. See, so that's what we're talking about.
That's what I had a hard time differentiating because I naturally go Halloween in my mind is a scary movie.
But they can be scary.
Well, I always kind of just clump them in. Like when I think Halloween, first thing that comes to mind is obviously the Halloween movies, but then like Nightmare on Elm Street comes to mind. That's a big
not
one.
A Halloween movie, though.
Exactly. It's not a Halloween movie.
So this is movies that the plot, some part of the plot, not the whole plot, revolves around the holiday of Halloween. There's trick-or-treating going on. There's a Halloween party. Something happens Halloween related. Also not eligible for this episode, TV shows.
Sadly.
Which sucks because we're going to take a minute towards the end to talk about some good TV Halloween stuff because there's a lot of great TV Halloween stuff. We maybe next year on Halloween we'll do a Halloween TV something or other.
I'd love that because there's like a bajillion to choose from. Every fucking show has a. We'll do a
brief. Yeah, we'll do a brief talk here, but then, we'll start planning something for next year.
Bing bang boom.
There we go. All right, so let's go over the rules because I feel like we haven't done a movie superlatives in a while because our September one. Well, we didn't do one in September. Our August one was pretty early in the month, and this is all the way at the end of the month. So it's been almost 2 full months.
Was a long time.
So we got 5 categories that we give out awards for. We can't give out more than 1 award to a specific movie, and we can't give a specific movie more than 1 award, so no repeatsies on any of these. Either which way, those are the only rules. Our awards for Halloween movies are the best actual Halloween costume, the best costume that isn't really a costume. So this is like a real monster or a ghost or something that people just think is a costume because it's Halloween. The best use of Halloween candy as a plot device. And the best scare or scary moment in a movie centered around Halloween. And the best antagonist or villain in a Halloween movie.
Very good.
Then we got some cool extra stuff at the end.
We do.
As always. So let's start it off at the top. Best actual Halloween costume from a movie. What do you got? And this was our Twitter. So we'll do Twitter response on this. Let's do that first because we didn't have a whole lot of Twitter response.
We did not.
We got a lot of votes, but not a lot of people talking. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Why can't you talk with us? We like it when you talk with us.
Love the
Twitter feedback is always at APA something and at alone_podcast. We're there literally 24/7.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. But when I am there, you have my full attention.
I'm there like 16 hours a day. Yeah. I'm usually have Twitter at my fingertips. Not 16 hours straight, but I'm like, it's there, you know?
Yeah, it's there. It's there. But I really get into it, when using the bathroom, that's a good one. I always chat with you folks.
I mean, that's about 16 hours a day right there.
Seriously. I mean, I've got a fucked up bowel, and I like to spend that personal time with you guys.
All right, let's move on. So the Twitter question was, what is the best Halloween costume in a movie? Recording our Halloween movie superlatives episode tonight. We'd love some feedback. hashtag Potter Family, hashtag Halloween, at alone_podcast. So the options were Frank Rabbit from Donnie Darko, E.T. as a ghost from E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the William Shatner mask from Halloween, and other comments. So actually, other comments came in last this time. Usually that comes in first. Only 3% of the vote
That
out of
surprised the hell
33
out of me.
votes. Yeah. Frank Rabbit from Donnie Darko got 24%. The Ghost E.T. got 24%. And the William Shatner mask resounding 48% win.
That one's just so iconic.
Yep. And we got a couple comments. So shout out to you guys. Making Good Spaghetti at mgoodspaghetti. I'd still want to know what makes your spaghetti so good, but whatever.
Seriously.
He says having the Shatner mask for Michael Myers is just hilarious with some spaghetti plate emojis. And follow us because we're new and you're nice at Fate Apps. Shatner 1000%. I had to watch the movie 4 times just to realize it wasn't a new Star Trek movie. I was so confused. I don't think you're watching Halloween right, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck?
There's no space. There's no Captain Kirk. There's no, I mean, I guess the Shatner mask is Captain Kirk. There's no what the fuck's the ship called? Why don't
The
I know the ship
Enterprise.
from Star Trek? There's no Enterprise. There's no Voyager. None
No
of that
Spock.
stuff. Captain Picard's not in there anywhere. Like, I think you got to know that Halloween is not, in fact, a Star Trek movie.
I don't know, man. We should probably lay off a little bit because that mask is a fucking immaculate.
It's a great mask.
I mean, it's perfect. It looks exactly like William Shatner in his
Now,
prime.
so here's the argument to that. Does that count as a Halloween costume? Because it's more of like a murder mask, right?
Well, I mean, the
Because he wasn't
jumpsuit.
going to a Halloween party. Yeah, he got the
Well,
jumpsuit.
I mean, he did it on Halloween. That was his,
He wore a costume on Halloween. I would accept it. That's true. We have very loose rules for these, so I would accept it.
I rule it is accepted.
All right, so best actual Halloween costume. What did you pick?
I'm gonna be a cheating little fuck. I chose Frank Rabbit from Donnie Darko. That costume is
That's what I chose
disgustingly
too,
weird, dude. It
and that's why it was
bothers
on the
me.
poll because that was my choice.
It was such a good choice because it's perfect. That
It's very
especially
disturbing.
well, especially because it's his like imaginary friend type deal, and
Hmm.
it's an actual Halloween costume that this kid is wearing in the movie. So it's somewhat meta at the same time, but
Well, so there's two versions of it, right?
it's
There's the
very odd.
version where he's at the party and it's closer to a real bunny. It's still a little freaky. It's got the bulging eyes and the weird smile, but the ears aren't as messed up and things like that.
The
Where he's at the
teeth.
party and it's just a normal, kind of a normal weird rabbit costume. And then it's the version that's his imaginary friend from the future that was in the car accident, right? I think I explained that right. Donnie Darko's a weird movie. Have you ever gone through like the Donnie Darko website?
Yes, dude, it's fascinating.
Whew, it is
It is
so cool.
remarkably fascinating.
Is it still there?
I think so. I went
I
down a
went
rabbit
on it in
hole.
like 2010 and it was there.
I mean, I got into a bit, real deep into it probably like 6 months ago because it was one of my
Okay.
little brother's favorite movies. And
Really good movie.
I distinctly remember like Wyatt before seeing Donnie Darko and after. And I mean, for forever after he saw that movie, he would just talk about it nonstop because there are a
Hmm.
lot of weird theories and stuff like that that run throughout and little things that are picked up and can mean gigantic things and odd
Well, and
parallels and all
Richard
kinds of
Kelly
stuff.
built this whole deep website in like the infancy of the internet. I mean, because the movie came out in what, 05, 06, I want to say?
I do not
Maybe
know.
07 at the latest. It was right in that.
I thought it was earlier because Jake
Okay, well, now
Gyllenhaal
we
is
gotta look it
really
up,
young.
right?
I'm
Yeah, now
going
we gotta
to
look it up.
boom.
Okay. What year? What year? What year?
2001.
2001. So, okay, so Richard Kelly builds this, the director of Donnie Darko builds this website in 2001 as a companion piece. And maybe he built it a few years after, I don't know. But as a companion piece to this movie that brings you further down the time travel rabbit hole and the parallel universe rabbit hole that he built within this movie. And it's so cool to like watch the movie, go through that, and take the journey all the way through that because there's like these puzzles that you have to solve to get through it and all this stuff. Early internet was really big on puzzles to get into things. I remember there was old Harry Potter websites that you would have to that were super interactive, and you have to like click on certain things to get in. Like you'd have to unlock the wall to Diagon Alley to see that part of the website. Like it all this cool stuff. Now it's just like type in the fucking website and you're there.
Pretty
No
much, they
no
had like
interactivity.
exactly. They had a lot of like I don't know, tongue-in-cheek
Secrets. Yeah,
passwords and secrets and stuff like that.
right. And so this was all part of that, and like it was just this super deep thing that went slipping and sliding, and you could go on all these different paths and figure things out. So it was cool to watch Donnie Darko do that, and then watch Donnie Darko again, taking all of this new information into your thought process about how the movie and how the world works. And then you watch S Darko, the
Never watched it.
very, very bad sequel. It's
Never
terrible.
watched it. I've heard it's bananas, like absolutely stunningly
It
bad.
tries to bring like a lot of these pieces of the website out and like in the forefront, because the time travel in Donnie Darko is very uh laid back, I guess. It's not explained in any way. They don't tell you how anything works. It's just like Donnie Darko at the end chooses to go back in time and stay in his bed, right? And that's all you know about the time travel. He gets the one book, he chooses that he can live, that the universe is going to be a different thing if he goes back in time and dies. So he does that. But then the website takes you into all this different mindfuck kind of stuff about how the time travel should work.
That
And
movie is a giant mindfuck.
this has nothing to do with Frank Rabbit, but
But it
it's
has everything to do with Frank
right.
Rabbit because I mean, he
Well,
is
he's the spirit guide, right, of through time
exactly.
travel.
He's basically exactly he's the spirit guide through this fucked up mindfucked movie. And during the reveal, after he basically runs over Donnie Darko's girlfriend, what the hell are you doing playing in the middle of the road? And then Donnie shoots him,
Hmm.
and he's dreamed about this boy before, and it's just God, it's a
When
circle.
it all starts, he sees him at this party, and he's like, "Holy shit! Like I know this guy."
Yeah, I've seen him
But he just
before.
like briefly glances him. He doesn't think anything of it other than like, "Oh shit, I know that costume."
Hmm.
And he kind of follows him for a second, but then he gets pulled off on something else. And so yeah, S Darko was just like it tried to bring all this stuff, but it didn't want to go too deep into explaining any of it. But she's just like, "Oh yeah, my brother could time travel, and I can do the same thing. I can see the wormholes, blah blah blah." But it doesn't actually like explain how it works. It just keeps throwing out these terms that don't mean anything if you don't explain them. And the actors are nowhere near as good. So yeah, it really sucked. Don't watch S Darko. Just play on the website. That's more fun.
Yeah, I might have to go do that. But I mean, it's a fantastic Halloween costume. That's kind of
Yeah,
the whole
really great
roundabout
costume.
point of this. It really
Really
fucking is.
great in movie costume. Really great like real world. Like if I saw somebody wearing that costume out and about, I'd be like, all right, that's dope.
I'd say that, and I'd be like, all right, honey, we gotta go. We gotta leave.
Yeah, that would be the other thing. Like I don't want to be anywhere in the same fucking country as this guy. Like we're going to California for the next few days.
Yeah. See ya.
He's gonna
And
run somebody over tonight.
I bet it ain't gonna be fucking me. I'm about to get shot in the eye.
All right, so moving on to the next category.
I was
Oh,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
did you have a runner up?
I did not have a runner up.
Let me throw I had a
Yeah,
quick
go ahead.
runner up I wanted to throw out there
Get it.
because I suck. I chose
Uh,
Molly.
On the last movie superlatives, I had like because we did Fast and Furious, I had like four runner ups for each thing. So you're good on runner ups.
Bang. I chose Molly from Idle Hands. I don't know. I saw that movie
Never seen it.
forever ago. It's a really stupid movie. Basically, this dude's hand gets possessed by the devil. Idle Hands of the
Yeah, yeah,
Devil's
yeah, yeah.
Plaything. So he cuts it off, and it's like a sentient, crazy hand that goes to a
I think I've
Halloween
heard of
party.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Jessica Alba plays Molly, dressed up as an angel, and is smoking hot. And yeah, I swear to God, I
Yeah, I'll
probably
allow
hit puberty that movie.
that. That did it. All right.
That did it, and I mean that's why it is the runner-up to
I think
Frank.
I've I think I've seen that like picture, or whatever. Like that Jessica Alba as an angel sticks out in my mind, so that makes sense.
See what I mean? It's a good runner-up.
All right, so best costume that isn't really a costume. So this is a real monster, ghost, something like that that people think is a costume because it's Halloween. I go first. Mine is all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. They're in the New York City Halloween parade. They come up out of the sewers, and this parade's going on of everybody in their costumes, like millions of people just going down Times Square in their costumes. So they just join in as themselves.
Are you talking to the new
Yeah, this is
TMNT?
the new Part 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Michael Bay Out of the Shadows Part 2.
I have not seen that one yet. I saw the first one, um, and I kind of gave up when Shredder was like literally covered in knives and had 500 sharp objects hanging from his
Now
body.
the second one, I mean, and we talked about this when we did a podcast about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a couple months ago. The second one's good. It's a lot of fun. Again, they join the New York City Halloween parade as fucking turtles. Like that's
That,
a cool costume,
that's a great
and
pick.
and everybody's in on it. Everybody's giving them high fives and shit. Michelangelo's digging it. He's having the time of his life out there.
You know, he's like titties. Oh my god,
I don't think
chicks.
he said that.
I mean, he doesn't have to say it. He's a
It's
teenage,
true.
teenage mutant ninja turtle.
Definitely a virgin. All four of the turtles.
Dude, speaking of versions, Hocus Pocus, my wife was watching that when I got home from work.
Not a fan.
Oh my god, they rag on that kid for being a virgin like 6 different times in
He's
that
like
movie.
14, isn't he?
Something like that, but I mean the last line of the movie is just like I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle. It's like, damn,
Yeah.
roasting
They're
that
not
kid.
nice to him. I'm not a fan of Hocus Pocus, but they're definitely not nice to that kid.
Poor guy.
All right, so what's your best costume that isn't a costume?
I chose Sam Hien, however you want to say it, from Trick or Treat. That
Another one
weird.
that have not seen.
Yeah, I've seen it once on TV in passing, but I did think that was really that stuck out in my mind because he was creepy. I don't like kids laughing in scary
Oh,
movies.
I hate that.
Oh dude, my wife I never cared before, but then my wife pointed out it's like, oh yeah, that is kind of creepy.
Little kid ghosts or like little kids being possessed, things like that. Not my.
Yeah, I don't want
Can't
to
do it.
watch that. So I mean, it's like an anthology movie, and people think he's just a kid trick or treating, but in reality, he's a demon who sucks and likes to hurt,
Most
do
of them
bad
do.
shit.
Most of them do. Not a fan of demons.
Yeah, demons can.
Yeah, definitely. Fuck off, demons. Demons really get me, man. I can't. Just little break here on demons. Those are the movies that get me the worst because like demons and like possessions, exorcism type movies, like I remember we watched this one in college. I believe it was The Exorcism of Emily Rose because it
Dude, that
came
movie
out right around
scared
that
the
time.
fuck out
That
of
was the
me.
one where she's like in college, right?
Yeah,
And she's like staying with her boyfriend, like she's staying in the dorm with her boyfriend, and like he wakes up in the middle of the night and she's just like her joints are out of place and she's crawling around on her hands and shit, right?
yeah, she's all contorted.
I
Ugh.
I don't believe in most like ghosts and like supernatural that kind of thing. Like I don't believe in that because I've never seen it. I've never really experienced it. I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen a demon possession, anything like that. So it doesn't exist to me unless it's something tangible and reliable sources have told me that it's a real thing. I've never seen the Grand Canyon, but I know it exists. That kind of thing.
I
With possession,
bel-
I'm just like, obviously this was a real girl. I don't know that she was possessed by the devil or anything, but something happened where her boyfriend woke up and saw her body all contorted like that. And I don't know what the fuck I would do if I woke up and my girlfriend was contorted like that.
I'd scream. I'd
I
be
would
like,
call the police.
I'd be fucking scared as shit, dude.
But yeah, I don't think my mind would go to, well, it's a possession. I would think somebody like broke in and broke all her fucking bones and set her there.
I
And
mean,
now
she's
she's
also like,
screaming at me.
yeah, exactly, like raw. So
Yeah.
I
I would
honestly,
not stay in that room. I would walk out of the room, close the door, and call like 911 as quickly as possible.
I might kick her in the face.
But I know
It's
there are some
possible.
like, yeah, that there may definitely be if she starts like charging at me, there'd definitely be a kick to the face.
Not even she's screaming at me. It's like, fuck, you're gonna wake me up that way? That's so rude.
But there's like there are some, I don't know if they're mental health disorders or bodily disorders where you can kind of contort your body in those ways,
Mm-hmm.
or you can become contorted. I know like the screaming and night terrors and things like that, like those are mental health problems that like do exist. And that would scare the crap out of me too, but like I feel like if you're screaming in the middle of the night and just like having a night terror basically and just screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night, but you're not contorted like that, I feel like I could handle that a little bit better than both things at once.
Both things, and the whole looking you in the eye thing too is
Yeah.
fucking scary.
When they're
No,
probably not
thank you.
like they're probably not even fucking awake when this is going on. Like they have no idea what's going on.
And here I am saying, oh, I just kick him right in the face.
Yeah. If
Bah!
somebody knows what's going on there, like scientifically what's going on there with these things that happen where they can contort their bodies in those ways, hit us up at APA something again. Because I don't necessarily believe that it's a devil possession and the devil is contorting their body. I don't think so. If somebody has a scientific explanation, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, I'm sure there's tons of scientific explanations
I'm
because
sure there are.
that's
Again,
what.
I'm too lazy to do the research on myself and also too scared to do the research by
Yeah,
myself.
that's the thing for me is that stuff frightens the shit out of me, whether it's based in reality or fantasy. Uh, the key thing for me, and I think that's why the door still is open for me, is I do believe in evil. Like I firmly believe that people, there's very evil people, and evil is
Just like
just
intangible evil.
exactly. Well, I mean, evil, I kind of frame it in the same thing as like porn. You can't define it, but you
Right.
know it when you see it. It's
Like, and it's not that the person is evil. Like, 'cause obviously, there's evil people in the world who want to watch the world burn type thing. But you're saying that there's some force driving them to be evil. It's not just like, well, if I'm evil, that gets me the most money or power. It's there's something
it's
intangible driving them.
kind of, yeah. I guess that's a way to say it. It's an odd way of looking at it, but I think it kind of ties in with the mental health disorder. Honestly, like
Definitely could
that
be.
break that makes the human mind evil, and
Well, there's
and some things
definitely
you just can't
psychoses
explain.
that drive people to insanity and to do things like serial killers all the time. That like most of them have mental health problems. You know, they hear voices, they do this and that. And but I don't necessarily know that that's devil possession in a religious devil. I just think
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
they're schizophrenic and they don't there are voices in their head, but it's just because their own mind is broken.
yeah, yeah. And that's evil. Like that's an
Yeah.
evil thing to happen to someone, in my opinion. That
Yeah,
sucks.
I don't disagree there.
So like, yeah, intangible. It's down the rabbit hole we just went, but
Yeah. And again,
fuck.
yeah, I don't want to do the research on it myself because then I'll be like, well, I kind of have some of these tendencies. Maybe one day I'll wake up and be contorted in a weird like I don't want to know that about myself. So if somebody can give me a Reader's Digest version or a Twitter version, 240 characters or less, then I'm good on it.
If you do wake up all contorted, send me a selfie. I want to see it.
That'll be the first thing I do, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'll
please,
go check
please.
Twitter. Like I'd probably like be checking Twitter on my foot. So
Your wife's like, honey, are you okay? Do we need to call the ambulance? No, leave me the fuck alone. I'm getting on
well, yeah,
Twitter.
I can't tweet with my toes. I don't have thumbs down there.
Get over here. Help me with this.
All right, so we both said that, right? Let's move on to the best use of candy as a plot device. You go first.
Mine is super simple. It's Reese's Pieces and
Mhm.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
I agree.
I mean, how dope is that? That
I don't
some
know that there's
fucking
actually another answer.
well, I mean, that's like the only thing I could possibly think of off the top of my head. And I mean, if some Reese like 89-cent bag of candy can get me an alien to be my friend, you fucking betcha, dude. That is awesome.
Not only an alien, but an alien that can levitate you and all of your friends on your bikes. That's worth it.
And speak English. Like that's
A little
what?
bit. Let me say, ouch,
I mean,
and home.
that's more than my 6-month-old human being daughter
I
can
love
speak,
E.T.
so there's that.
E.T.'s a good movie.
It is a good
You
movie.
watch that again.
Fucking baby Drew
It's
Barrymore.
very. There's some rough parts in it though when the G-men come in.
The G-Men.
It's a hell of a thing when they took ET hostage,
Those punk
studied
bitches.
him and shit.
But I
He
mean,
got home in the end, back to a
yeah,
galaxy far, far away.
he phoned home, and then Lil Wayne wrote a rap about it.
Great song,
Fuck yeah, that shit slaps
Wheezy,
hard as hell.
Wheezy. Yep, good song. Okay, so ET Reese's Pieces. Again, I think that's the only one. I probably should have done more research to see if there were more,
Oh, I'm sure
but
there's a ton of them. Like, there's a Halloween movie out there where the like a razor blade and I
that's true.
that's really a TV show type thing.
I
You
don't
see
know
that
if
in
yeah,
TV
I don't
shows
know
a
if that's
lot.
the best use of Halloween candy if you're putting razor blades in them, but I guess if it's like a horror movie, then it could be.
If you're out to do evil,
Yeah, there you go.
if you're evil.
All right, so I guess we can move on to the best scare or scary moment from a Halloween movie. I get to go first here. Mine comes from Halloween, the first one. Mike Myers just standing outside Laurie Strode's house, staring blankly across the street into her house, is
They-
literally one of the scariest like things I've seen in a movie. Because he's got
It's
like the
so
knife in his
simple.
hand, he's got the Shatner mask on, and he's just standing there, not moving, barely breathing, staring into the soul of the house, basically.
He is evil personified in that
Yes.
moment. Like you can't quite put your finger on it, but it's like, well, I mean, the knife in the hand is probably a good indicator, but but you're just like, oh god,
And
he
then
brings
she
about
she
that
looks
feeling of
back and
dread.
he's just gone,
Yeah.
which is another level of it. But like after seeing that movie, because I'm not a scary movie person. I don't really like them. I dated a girl in college who she loved scary movies. Halloween were her favorite movies, so she's like, we gotta watch them. All right, fine, whatever. Don't care that much. So we watched that movie, and then like a week later, my parents went out of town, and it was over summer. So like I went to stay at their house to like house sit for them or whatever, and I was there by myself, and they didn't live in like this big Victorian house or anything. It was just kind of a small house, but it had like it was kind of pushed back from the road a ways, and it had like the single pane next to the door,
Oh,
of
I hate
window,
that.
which is like the house in Halloween.
Yeah.
And so like I kept being drawn to looking out that little pane of window, thinking there would be somebody standing out on the road looking into my house. And there like it was July, there'd be no reason for anyone to be doing that. It was like this not a back road, but it was a very low traveled road
It was
in
off the
this
beaten path.
small dinky town. Like there's like on the other side of our fence was this huge gated community. Like if anybody's gonna be staring into anybody's house, it's gonna be in one of those to figure out which one they're gonna rob, not ours on the other side of the fence. And like I couldn't do it. I was like, okay, guess I'm just not sleeping tonight. And
Well,
even then, like I stayed up playing video games a lot until like I just generally couldn't stay awake anymore.
mm-hmm.
And like I just kept like going to the window, and like I like things like that get stuck in my head, and I'm just like drawn to keep thinking about it.
Well,
Which I
it's
have
almost
another
like
thing
you're
like that I'll tell about sometime, maybe later.
willing it into reality.
Right.
That's 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 what I love about the original Halloween is that
It's so good. It's such a good
so
movie.
good with the minimalistic acting, the
Hmm.
minimalistic
You have
horror
no
show
backstory on
basically.
Michael Myers, which
Exactly.
is a
The
great thing.
score. Oh my god.
Score is really good. Um, so the other thing from a scary movie that stuck in my head, and this is gonna sound very childish to a lot of people, but I was like 16 or 17 when this movie came out. It's called Hide and Seek with Robert De Niro and
Dude, that
Dakota
movie
Fanning.
scared the fuck out of me.
That movie was scary as shit. With
Yeah.
the imaginary friend and her just Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. My daughter has a friend at school named Charlie, and like sometimes when she says the name, it still gets that like nails on a chalkboard
Mm.
in my back of my head of like Charlie. But that's not the part that scared me. It was when his wife killed herself. He woke up from dead sleep at I think it was 2:06 in the morning. It was 1:06 or 2:06, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he walked in and found she'd killed herself in the bathtub. And then throughout the movie, every time he'd have a break, he'd wake up at 2:06 again. So there was like this thing that signaled something was wrong. And there were several times in the movie where he woke up at 2:06 and he'd go and the bathtub was either filled with his dead wife or like a dead dog, or like there were a couple things that happened in the bathtub throughout the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for probably 2 months, I could not go to sleep before 2:06. I would just, if I fell asleep before 2:06, my mind would wake me up and I'd be like, "Oh shit, is it 2:06?" Like if I woke up, I would look at the clock immediately hoping that it wasn't 2:06, because if I ever woke up at 2:06, I would have freaked the hell out and just, I don't know what. I would have went to my bathroom and made sure no one was dead in the bathtub. But like I couldn't bring myself to fall asleep, and then 2:06 would hit, I'd have to get up, I'd have to go to the bathroom, make sure no one was dead in there, and then I'd be perfectly fine after that
See,
for like 2 months, and then it finally broke, my mind broke out of it.
mine was the witching hour. So I mean, there's 3 a.m. So that's very, very realistic to have that time frame. And that movie was scary as shit. Robert De Niro was great in that movie, and I can totally see where that is
Yeah.
that's not childish at all. But what is childish
I think
is
what I was thinking was childish is that the movie Hide and Seek scared the shit out of me, because like I feel like in the horror community, people don't look very fondly at it of this like great horror movie.
well, it's not really. It's more
But
of
I'm
like
kind of a scaredy cat and a baby, so
well, I just the psychological aspect of it is what
yeah.
gets me. That's what. See, I'm the baby here. I'm the baby. Trust me, because my best scare or scary moment is actually from Hocus Pocus, and this
With the weird
scene.
pointy boobs.
I mean, that did fuck me up for life. Pointy. Anytime I see someone with pointy boobs, I'm just like ah, and I run away real fast. And usually the cops get called because they're very concerned. But
Yeah, I could see
um,
that.
when I saw this as a kid, I spent a lot of time by myself, and everywhere we lived, I pretty much always stayed in the attic or like the very upstairs room where no one
Not a fan of
is.
that.
Oh no, no. Um, I've lived in several houses that I'm like fucking positive are haunted.
Yeah.
Or there's something there. Like the last house I lived in, I was convinced it was fucking haunted. Just weird feelings, like stuff gets misplaced, little instances. And then I just got reaffirmed like 2 weeks ago. My wife sent me a text message and was like, oh my god, look what your Uncle Ron posted, because he lives in the house I used to live in. And he's just like basically telling the story of how he super believes in it now because he experienced something that was really scary.
Hmm.
But anyways, in Hocus Pocus, Bette Midler, aka Winifred, she uses her fingernail to cut the screen of the little sister's window, and that fucking scared the shit out of me forever.
No, I get that.
I mean, in Illinois in the
This old
summer,
singing
especially
lady
where
is
I'm
just
at,
gonna break into my house anytime she wants
well, it was just someone
with a fingernail.
coming through my screen. Because as a young kid, before I moved up into the attic, I lived in a pretty bad neighborhood, and I would always park my bike right by my window. But we didn't use AC, and it gets fucking hot in Illinois, so we left the windows open.
Especially in an attic, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, this was before I moved to the attic, so
Oh,
one of the reasons I did was because people kept stealing my bike. So there was literally, you know, crackheads and shit stealing my bike 3 feet from me, and all they would have to do is reach through the screen. So that was something that really really fucked me up. So anytime I have
yeah, that makes sense.
my screens open, my windows open, that's something that comes to mind, like that sound, and it's like, like if I ever heard that over my daughter's baby monitor, I'd fucking
Oh my
freak
god,
out.
yeah. No, I feel you there. I'm not gonna hold that against you at all. Let's move
Sure
on
hope
from
not.
scary things. Even
Yeah,
though it's Halloween, but like I don't like being scared, so I'm gonna move on.
yeah.
Best antagonist or villain. And this is what, for me, this is what it's all about. But what do you got first?
I could not pick anyone else but Michael Myers. Like, he is the absolute best.
he is the personification of Halloween in a villain sense. Like as we talked about in the last point, you're exactly right. He's just evil.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't pick him, to
Well,
tell you the
he
truth.
he was my best scary moment. And
Yeah.
I've got an even worse villain, if you could believe it. Are we ready for it? Do
If
you
you
have
say
anything more
Jack
to say on Mike
Skellington,
Myers?
I'm going to trip you.
It's not Jack Skellington. That's a Christmas movie, not a Halloween movie. So
That's debatable.
it does
Debatable.
not take place on Halloween. It takes place on Christmas.
But they're Halloween critters.
Correct, but the plot revolves around Halloween. So that plot revolves around Christmas, not around Halloween.
Wouldn't the plot inherently be Halloween-esque because they're playing make-believe at Christmas?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I make the rules here, so
Philosophy majors, let me know.
yeah, if you know I'm not saying, well, I am saying this. It's not a Halloween movie because no part of it takes place during Halloween. They're just Halloween people. That'd be like saying if a pumpkin exists in a different movie, bam, it's a Halloween movie. That's not fucking true.
That is very far off.
Well,
Because
it's a
Jack
Halloween thing.
Skellington, Jack Skellington, these are Halloween characters. Like, if you fucking saw Santa walking through the
And
mall,
he's not an antagonist. He's the protagonist of that film. The
well,
weird,
then who would be the antagonist? Those
isn't
shitty
there like
little
a
kids?
weird dog ghost thing? I've only seen that movie once. I'm not a huge fan of it.
No, that's his buddy. But if you saw like Santa walking through the mall,
Oh
you
no,
wouldn't
there's like
stop
the
and go, "It's
weird
almost Christmas."
blobby ghost.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
If I saw Santa in a mall and it's July, then I wouldn't think it's Christmas. I
Well,
wouldn't think,
I
well,
mean,
this is a Christmas thing.
your logic is very, very defeated
If
there.
if you had a movie that's set in July and there happens to be a Santa Claus in it, does that make that a Christmas movie now? No, because it's not happening during Christmas. There's just a Christmas thing in it.
But I mean, no, Jack Skellington is driving the movie though.
Right, but he's just because it's a Halloween thing, Halloween is a day. It has to revolve around the day of Halloween or the celebration of Halloween. They're not celebrating
The Day
Halloween.
of the Dead celebration, and he's a skeleton, so he's dead.
No.
So he carries the spirit of Halloween
All
with
right,
him
somebody
everywhere he
else.
goes.
We're not going to agree on this. Somebody on Twitter is going to have to settle the score for us. Would in this framework of Halloween movie superlatives, would The Nightmare Before Christmas count as a Halloween movie?
Please answer. I
Because
really want to know.
does part of the plot revolve around Halloween? That's the question. Okay. Anyway, my best antagonist slash villain. There's only one. Maybe the best villain ever in a movie. Regina George, Mean Girls.
That's Halloween?
There's a Halloween party in which she kisses Aaron Samuels in front of Katie Heron when she knows Katie likes Aaron Samuels, and she even tells Katie she'll go talk to him for her and put in a good word. And then she kisses him right in front of Katie. That's some stone cold villain shit. That's evil. That's more evil than anything Mike Myers did.
That is pretty evil. That is straight bullying. That's not cool.
And you have to add on everything else that Regina George does throughout the movie is pure evil. Like there's literally a podcast called The Villains Podcast, and Regina George has a whole episode there. Go check it out by Shea Serrano. It's a great fucking podcast. There's only like 9 episodes. It's really easy to digest. Especially the Regina George episode. But she's one of the all-time villains, man. She scares everybody in the whole school into wanting her to, like, nobody likes her, but everybody needs to be liked by her.
I mean, I guess being scared and bullying kind of go hand in hand.
Well, yeah, she's definitely a bully, but that's what makes her a villain, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to argue semantics because I lost the previous argument.
I don't know that you didn't lose anything on Mike Meyer. You just lost the Nightmare on Before Christmas thing, which doesn't even qualify for any of this. So
That's all right. Regina George? Is that?
Yeah.
I can honestly confess that I've never seen.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
98% of Mean Girls.
We're gonna stop this podcast right now. you're gonna go watch Mean Girls, and then we'll come back and finish.
I don't think our listeners would like that very much.
Mean Girls is fucking awesome. You've got to watch it.
We might
It's a
have to check it
great
out.
movie.
Isn't that with Lindsay Lohan?
Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, uh, fuck's her name? Lizzie Kaplan's in it. Um, Amanda Seyfried's in it, and the other one, what is her name? The girl that plays Gretchen Wieners. Oh, I always just think of her name as Gretchen Wieners, and I can't think of her real name. I like her. She's a good actress. Well, not good, but I like her most of the time. Tina Fey is in it. Amy Poehler's in it. Lacey Chabert. That's who it is. Gretchen Wieners. Lacey Chabert. It's such a good movie. There's so many good things about it. Written by Tina Fey, just throwing 100-degree heat the whole movie. It's fantastic. Honestly, I'm not even joking. You need to watch it. And any conversation that I can fit Mean Girls into, I'm happy to do that. So the fact that I could put her into this Halloween movie Superlatives just makes my life complete.
You have convinced me. I will watch it.
You need to watch Mean Girls.
Well, I
Has your
probably
wife
will,
seen
buddy.
Mean Girls?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
She'll probably watch it with me.
I would hope so. All right, so let's move on to some extras. Are there any categories that we missed that you can think of that are
One,
inherent to Halloween movies?
well,
Go ahead.
mine was what was a Halloween costume that you've worn that was inspired by a movie?
Oh, that's good. I don't know that I have. I don't in adulthood I don't do costumes.
I've
I
worn
don't
like
know
the
that I
same
ever
one
have.
for the past nine Halloween celebrations
I
I've had.
mean, the closest I get in this, we were going to talk favorite costumes like that we've ever worn as kids or whatever, or really at any time in our life. But for me, it would be a kid because I don't wear them in adulthood. Um, for me, I guess I was White Power Ranger one time, which will be my favorite when we get there. But that was from a movie.
Well, funny thing, haha. That was my favorite costume. was the first movie version of the White Ranger
Yeah, I think I
with
had a
the.
knockoff, but like I still rocked it. Like I was a real fucking Power Ranger.
Dude, I fucking wore those as like pajamas and all kinds of stuff. I wore
They
that
were
all the
comfy.
time. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really have any that we missed. We just didn't have a lot of spooky or scary categories, and that's probably because I don't like and watch scary movies, so I didn't. That's
There's
not
more
where
to
my mind
Halloween
goes.
than that.
And I wanted to talk about Mean Girls, so all
Dude, you did great. I'm very proud of you.
right.
See,
So
I'm not a mean girl.
you're gonna text me in like 2 days and be like, you were right. Mean Girls is the best movie ever.
I've seen it 382 times.
In the last 3 days, that's all we've watched.
I've watched it at 4 times speed.
It's one of my go-tos of like I'm doing something, I want a movie on in the background where I can kind of laugh a little, but I don't have to pay attention to it. It's one of my go-tos for that. It's like that, Anchorman, Dumb and Dumber, 10 Things I Hate About You gets in there. Of just like I'm just lounging, maybe I'm gonna do something, maybe I'm not, but I just want a movie on to kind of laugh at.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I rewatched Talladega Nights the other day too. That was fun. I haven't seen that in a while. Got a lot of rewatches of movies going on while I was sick this past week.
There's usually not much else to do.
Also, Puss in Boots, check out our Patreon.
For $1 a month. Check it out.
So let's take a minute to talk about some TV Halloween. Just give me some general thoughts. We don't want to go too deep because we are going to do an episode on it next year. Give me your general thoughts on TV Halloween.
Those are awesome usually. Like that 70s show Halloween episode. I mean, you could name pretty
Fez's
much.
Batman.
Dude, that was this rock hard ass. That shit always cracked me up. Fez's Batman was pretty great. Somebody stole my sugar babies.
They give us free candy
Just like that,
for
no strings.
dressing in a costume.
I love that shit. I've watched that episode.
Fez was so good
million
in the
times.
early seasons.
He really was, and then he tried too hard.
Yeah, but also at the same time wasn't trying hard. It
Nah,
was weird.
in the first episode, still makes me laugh every time when Donna or Jackie asked Donna to go to the bathroom with her, and then Fez is like, Eric, and he just turns real quick, like,
Yeah.
prime Fez.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Halloween episodes, Christmas episodes, I'm always there for like the special episodes. I want to see what the characters are wearing as their costumes. They don't always age well because like you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that thing from 2006 that was only a thing during 2006." The Office was really good with costumes.
Yeah,
They always
Parks
had
and
the best
Rec.
costumes. Parks and Rec was good. Parks and Rec did a better job of couples costumes.
They did.
They did a really good job of couples costumes. The Office did good as singular costumes. And then you always had the gym plain costume. Like how am I gonna not wear a costume but still kind of be festive? That was always fun.
Thanks, Dave.
But I have to give the biggest of shout outs to Home Improvement. They set the bar for Halloween episodes for every other show, I think. They had great costumes usually. They had great like in-world scares set up for the characters. Like the characters would always try and prank and scare each other. They worked in some actual real world scares every once in a while. And the Taylors just they basically always made their own house into a haunted house. So it was really cool to see how they would decorate and what kind of things they would put up and what kind of jerry rigged decorations Tim the Toolman Taylor would throw out there as part of this. Like, Tim was this bubbling idiot most of the time when he tried to fix things, but he could put a fucking Halloween display together like nobody's business.
I'm telling you.
Shout out Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
But Tim Allen, kind of fuck you because you're kind of a piece of shit.
You're a fucking rat.
So let's talk about some of our favorite things. Best Halloween candy. What do you got?
Reese's.
The Reese's Piece or a Reese's Cup? Or
Reese's
like
Cup.
the Reese's Pumpkin?
What? Oh, yeah. No, those are usually pretty good. I thought you were saying there's like a pumpkin flavored Reese's. I was like,
No,
shh,
no fuck.
get
I
that shit
think
away
there
from me.
is that, but not that doesn't count. The mini Reese's cup might be one of the best things in the world.
See, I totally disagree. It's
I like the regular size too, but I like the mini. Great,
the chocolate's too hard.
but I like that. I don't know why. I like that little bit of a crunch you get when you go into it.
I see. I love peanut butter, so I think it's for me. It's not enough peanut butter, too much
I get
chocolate.
that. So that's my problem with like, because they do the pumpkins at Halloween, they do Christmas trees at Christmas, and they do eggs at Easter. And I don't ever like those. Reese's is my favorite candy across the board because of the mixture of the peanut butter and chocolate. And I love Reese's Pieces. And I love the cups. And I love a Reese's Fast Break. I
Oh, they're
love,
yummy.
yeah,
Reese's
like
sticks.
Reese's Stick. Like anything Reese's, I'm usually there. But the seasonal shapes I don't like because I feel like they've messed up the peanut butter to the peanut butter to chocolate ratio. There's too much peanut butter in those, I think.
See, I think it's perfect. Love the peanut butter. It's like
Yeah, I'm not a
eating
fan.
basically a Reese's Big Cup.
The Reese's Big Cup is good. I like. Have you had one of the Reese's Big Cups that has the Reese's Pieces inside it?
No, but I've
Those are new,
I've done
and those are wild.
that with what else did I have inside of it? Not Reese's Pieces. It was
Skittles,
something else. No, peanuts.
gross. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And it was
that's.
good.
I love the Reese's Fast Break. Doesn't get enough love, I don't think.
Fast Break is very good. I had a
That's like
my
my
old roommate.
go-to driving snack.
No, I mean it's perfect, and it's got the peanuts, light chocolate, the peanut butter, the caramel.
Because the Reese's Cup, you only get two of them in there. That's not enough to keep you going for a little bit while
And
you're
force
driving.
too many. Force too
Yeah,
many.
force too many, and the two like it's not enough chewing. Like I need something that I can chew on for a while I'm driving and give me something to do.
Well, I mean Reese's, I'll literally just pop a whole one in my mouth at once because I'm a
That's the
fat
other
piece of
problem.
shit.
Yeah, it
But with
tastes too
fast
good. You
breaks,
can't just like take the bites.
well, it's just easy to eat. And fast breaks are like you got to really work on that shit to get it down.
Exactly, I agree. Um, best Halloween costume.
Now, is this from a movie
No, this
or
is yours. This is
okay?
your personal favorite that you personally wore.
Well, I have
Can be
two.
childhood or adulthood, whatever.
I have two, both in adulthood.
Okay.
The first one was when I was like 19 and I heard about a Halloween party going on and I didn't have a costume. But I,
Did
was
you go as
19 and I
Dave
really wanted to go. No,
or Three Hole Punch Nick?
I had one of my family members was throwing out a trench coat, and I was like, "This is fucking amazing." So I had kept it for probably 3 years in my closet, never wore the thing. So I grabbed
Sounds about
some
right.
Ray-Bans, a trench coat, and like some dress shoes and slacks and stuff, and put an old, cut the cord from an uh, iPod earphone. I don't know why that was
Hmm.
so basically a rudimentary earpod, or AirPod, or
Yeah, I
fuck they're
remember
called.
those.
So I just went around as a CIA agent and just
Oh,
fucked
nice.
with people the whole night. That one was really fun. And then my current one is Master Chief. I got an adult size Master Chief,
Oh, that's
and
pretty dope.
yeah, it's got the cool helmet and everything. It was the high dollar one. That was one of the few things I had to spring for as
Yeah.
a man child.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Mine, I'm going back to my White Ranger. Nothing cooler than being Power Ranger, man.
Especially some of those old costumes they had as a kid, they made you feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah, they're really good. Like it had the shield and everything. It had a pretty good solid helmet. I think I it didn't come with like the actual White Ranger sword, but like I just carried a fucking sword, a toy sword, obviously. Uh, so yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I would wear it and I would pretend to be a Power Ranger, and there's not a lot cooler when you're 9, 10 years old than being a Power Ranger.
Yeah, pretty much.
When did you stop trick or treating or like dressing up all that?
Uh, this may sound terrible, but when
I
my
don't.
dad stopped, like, absolutely refused to take me as when I was young, and he would pawn me off on my my neighbor friends,
Mm-hmm.
but we lived in a really bad neighborhood. So when they moved away, my option was just not trick or treat or trick or treat by myself and probably get beat up and my shit taken. So I just stopped trick or treating.
That's probably a good choice.
I think I was like 9 or something like that.
I made it to like
9 or 10.
11 or 12, I want to say. And like at that time, I never, the way our town was set up, like it was a small town, but the residential areas were kind of split up. So I didn't live really close to any of my friends where we'd like meet up and just walk around a neighborhood. So it was always like me and my brother would go. And by this time, my brother's 13, 14, so he's not going anymore. So now I'm just like out there by myself, and like my mom or dad is like just standing out on the road while I walk around. And like, so that it wasn't really fun anymore at that point, because I wasn't doing it with friends. I wasn't like my brother wasn't doing it with me anymore. So I'm just like going up to houses and like getting candy because I
Yeah,
wanted the candy. Like I wanted the candy of it. I
I
didn't
want the
mind wearing the
candy.
costume. Like I got the trade off of like I wear a costume, you give me candy, cool. So I think 11 or 12 was the last time I did it. Um, because and then after that we moved to a new town, and I definitely wasn't doing it in the new town. But I remember distinctly in 6th grade, like I had agreed with my friends. We are like, oh, we'll dress up because like you dress up and you go to school in your costume, right?
Hmm.
And it was like it was starting to fade out at that point, 5th, 6th grade for most people, and it might have been 5th grade. It was 5th or 6th grade, and we're like, I think it was 5th grade that I stopped there, and we're like, yeah, yeah, we're all gonna dress up. We'll wear like our baseball uniforms, like something simple, but we'll all still do it. And I did it, but they did.
Of
So and
course.
I was like the only one in our class that dressed up. So I'm just like, all right, now I'm the fucking loser. All right, cool. So that was
Fuck you
definitely the
guys.
last time I did for school. I mean, there were people in other classes that did it, but like at in that time, you're not changing classes. You don't really see those people. So I'm just like there all day in my costume, and everybody else is wearing normal clothes. It's like when Pam dressed up when she was working at the corporate office for that one
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah. That was terrible. Like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah. Or
Use
Hitler.
the old grease paint.
Yeah, so that was a rough time in my young childhood of realizing that you can't trust your friends. They're assholes, all of them,
Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time.
especially when they're 10 or 11-year-old kids.
Fuck yeah, dude. Kids are so mean.
I don't remember who the other one. I know one of them. His name was Doug. So fuck you, Doug.
Yeah, Doug.
I don't remember who the other guy
Dick.
was though, and I don't remember Doug's last name, but I know his name is Doug.
Doug Dickweed.
Doug Dickweed, that's who he is. All right, do you have anything else on Halloween that we need to talk about?
Uh, quick one, and
Yeah,
then this is it. What's the weirdest thing you ever got in your trick or treat bucket?
I don't have anything that stands out
I got a hot
that
dog.
I can think of. Because so like
Fresh off the
I was
grill.
gonna say something else, but now I can't.
Yeah, dude,
That
I got a hot dog
that's
fresh off the
fucking weird.
grill. Like I walk up to the front door. This dude
Shout
was,
out Tennis Podcast if you're listening. They love hot
dude,
dogs over there.
fuck yeah, hot dogs are great. I mean, I fucking ate it. I didn't give a shit. I was,
Oh my god.
dude, I was like 5 or 6, but I distinctly remember walking up to this front porch, knocking on the door, and this lady answers it, and I thought this guy was just grilling on his like little front covered porch for himself.
Yeah.
And she's like, "He has your treat, honey." And I turn, he's got a fucking hot dog. He's like, "You want some
So did he
ketchup?"
just like did he like hand it to you and you started eating it, or did he put it in the fucking bag and then like 20 minutes later you're like, oh yeah, there's a fucking hot dog, let me eat that.
Well, no, he handed it right to me. So I guess that doesn't count. But that was the weirdest thing I
No,
ever
yeah, no,
received
no,
for Halloween.
I think it still counts as like receiving a weird thing for Halloween.
I
No,
got a
I don't.
Coke can once too.
That's
That
kind
one
of funny.
sucked. Well, I thought it
Well,
was.
that's hard to carry around for the rest of the day now.
Well, I mean, he dumped it in my bucket. It was really dark, and I didn't know what it was. But I was like, "Fuck, it was heavy. I bet it was a lot of candy." And then, you know, I 10 minutes later, I look in
Yeah,
there
it's
and
a
it's
bit
a
of a
soda
letdown.
can, and it was Diet Coke, and I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
not
I
even
don't
worth it.
drink soda. I fucking hate it. So I was doubly pissed off there. I was like, can't even give me some Hawaiian punch, you dick.
Hawaiian Punch in a can was so good.
So fucking
I don't know
good.
why it was better in a can, but it was.
Dude, they have it
Um,
at my job for 50 cents a can. It's
I used to get it at school with my lunch, pretty much every day. I'd get like whatever the lunch was, my can of Hawaiian Punch, and Oreo ice cream. Oh, or a Twix ice cream. Usually the Twix ice cream. If they didn't have the Twix ice cream, then the Oreo.
sounds fantastic,
Yeah, it was
actually.
great. Great lunch. Um, yeah, I didn't. The town I lived in, like everybody knew everybody. So like, if you got something weird, people would know. People would know where the weird thing came from. And
Johnson
like,
down the road's
we
handing
didn't
out hot
have,
dogs.
especially where we lived, it was not a hotbed of activity for trick or treating. And here's another question: have you lived at your current residence for like more than a year? Have you been there for a Halloween?
Yeah, it's bullshit around here,
Are
dude.
you in like a community, like, or just kind of out, kind of on your own? How close are
Uh,
your neighbors? I guess.
I mean, I
I'm
live
not
in a
trying to stalk you.
cul-de-sac, so I mean, I
Yeah.
have.
Okay. So
Don't
it's
fucking
like
lie,
yeah.
bro. You are so trying to stalk me, but I had. They're all
Well, I
old.
have your address. I could just fucking go there. I could look it up on Google
Come on
Maps
by.
too.
Let's have a beer and watch some football. You'll get here about Sunday.
I
Start driving.
don't think my wife would be happy with that because we're supposed to leave Sunday to go on a cruise.
Yeah, it's alright. But my street is, it's weird. Mine's in the city, like in the heart of the city, but it's kind of pulled back. Like it's one of the most
Mm-hmm.
remote areas within city limits.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Um, so we don't get very many kids, and the ones we do get are all from the trailer park and fucking assholes. Um, Not saying that if you live in a trailer you're a fucking asshole, but there's one,
They're just
you know,
these kids that do live in this trailer park are assholes.
fuck yeah, dude, they always break shit, and we had a bunch of construction lately, so they've been throwing cones everywhere. I gotta act like
Kids
I'm
are
driving through
assholes.
zigzags and taking my driving test again. It's garbage.
So that wasn't the question I was going to ask. The question was, in your neighborhood, and I think I probably know the answer. Do people sit outside waiting for trick or treaters, or are you just waiting in your house? Somebody rings the doorbell and you go.
No, we all turn our lights off because we suck.
Okay. Because that's the thing I live in a gated community with 700 houses, I think, and it's huge here. Like there's thousands of pounds of candy every year that go through here. And like we have to register guests like weeks in advance if we want them coming on Halloween because so many other people come in here too because they know the stash is good in here.
I was gonna
Um,
say, I guarantee people are fucking taking convoys up to your neighborhood.
oh yeah, absolutely, but they have to be called. If they're not called in, they don't get in. But the way it works here is like nobody's inside. Everybody sits out in their driveway. You got a little table out there. You got your bucket of candy, and like everybody's just sitting out. The kids walk up to them, say trick or treat, and they put it in the thing, or they just grab it, whatever. But it's like just this. Some people are grilling outside, some people have their beers or whatever, and just sitting there chilling. Everybody's just like sitting outside watching the kids go around. It's kind of cool, and
That sounds
the
like
traffic
fun.
the traffic is really slow, so like people are just walking in the middle of the road, even though there are sidewalks. But like there's plenty of movement. It is really cool in our neighborhood. I kind of miss the like actual going up and ringing the doorbell, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like it's really easy to know, right, is this person here or not? Like, am I wasting my time walking up to the doorbell? You don't have to worry about that. Because especially here, because it doesn't get dark out before you go trick or treating. Like, it didn't get dark till almost 8 o'clock. Still, even on Halloween. So like,
Wow.
we have small kids. We want to be trick or treating 6, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still light out when we're going, and so you can't tell if people's lights are off or if they're just not turned on yet, kind of thing. So it's nice. You just go to the people who are sitting at the end of their driveways. You don't worry about ringing doorbells and things like that.
Sounds like fun, actually. I would so be down for
It's
that.
kind of cool. It's like kind of a big block party, but not actually sanctioned block party. We get some good displays. Are you a Halloween decorator?
They have a Halloween decorator?
No, no, no. Do you decorate your house for Halloween?
Oh, sorry. I had a brain fart there for a
Yeah.
second.
No.
No, my wife does.
Well,
Uh,
that's what I mean. Does your house get decorated, and how well? What level? Are you Tim the Toolman Taylor, or are you just throwing up some cobwebs?
she's Tim the Toolman Taylor. She's really good at it.
Yeah, that's cool. We
We'll usually
do
take an afternoon and deck it out.
Halloween. We don't do great on. We have a few things that go outside, some pumpkins, things like that. My kids always like painting pumpkins, and we don't do carving really. We paint them, and we get the little things from Target. Like they make these little uh poke in things that make people. Like we have a Woody from Toy Story one out there right now. You just poke
Nice.
the head in, you poke arms and legs in, and so your pumpkin looks like Woody. So we do that and just some like really basic things, some pretend scarecrows, things like that. We don't do a lot for Halloween, but Christmas we do a lot better. We get some good lights up there. We've got some of the blow up things. I want to do better at Christmas. I'm trying to build up our stash of Christmas stuff for outside, but it's fucking hard and expensive.
Yeah, and it doesn't last usually.
No, you might get 2 Christmases out of each thing, and then you gotta replace it the next year.
Yeah.
But there's no way I can compete on Christmas because the guys across the street, there's two houses and they kind of work together, and they've got all these like projection shows that go up against their garage, and not just like the little snowflake show, that you can get
Mm-hmm.
for $12 at Walmart. These are like full on like Santa coming in and pretending to put in presents and laughing and talking. And they have speakers and everything. It's crazy. It's
Dude,
really
that's
good.
creepy. That's creepy.
It's a
You
little
just
the
hearing
first time you
Santa in
see
the
it, it's
middle
a
of the
little
night.
weird. You can't hear it inside the house or anything. It's not that loud. But if you're standing in front of their house, like you can hear him going ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, and then like he flies away, and like it's a really cool like projection stuff because they got one on the garage where it's like a Christmas tree and these little kids are like hiding behind the Christmas tree kind of thing, and you see Santa putting the presents in there, and then upstairs in their upstairs windows they have a different projection that's like Santa sneaking out and getting into a sled and flying away.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a cool thing. I'm never gonna live up to that, but I want to have a pretty good display in a couple years.
I have faith in you, Calvin. I'm
I
sure
know
you
I'll
can
get
live.
there.
You can live up to that.
Yeah, I'll get there. All right, so that's all we got for Halloween, I think.
That is it for me.
All right. Thank you for listening. Check out our Patreon, as discussed earlier, patreon.com/podcast about something. Check out our merch store over at TeePublic, teepublic.com/APA something. A lot of cool designs for mugs, shirts, stickers, whatever the fuck you want
I got a dope shirt.
with our logo on it.
It's fantastic.
I'm excited because I think on the cruise next week I might actually finally get a chance to wear my hoodie.
Nice.
We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I'm bringing it with me, so I'll be repping on the cruise. But there's a lot of cool stuff over there. Check us out on Twitter at APA something at alone_podcast. And as always, our music is provided by those cats.
And you guys stay sassy.
Stay classy.
Mata Tequila.